think the word patrols is well, patroller, it seems to somewhat have a negative connotation to it, and people often get very scared about, you know, what does it involve? Why should I become a neighborhood watch patroller, or I'm not good enough to be a patroller? I think it's not as difficult as people make it out to be, and it doesn't mean that you have to go out there and tackle criminals and fight them for their knives and their guns and everything. I think Christine mentioned a comment that was at least a phrase that I say often say when I speak to people wanting to get involved with community projects is, if you see something, say something. And that's pretty much what a patroller is there for. I know in the OH Watch area, they've got people that will literally stand on their balcony because that's where they feel comfortable. And they will stand on their balcony, they see something, they say something. They put it into the WhatsApp group, they phone through to Watchcom. For those that don't know who Watchcom is the local community hub for the City Bowl, managed by CT-CSI, and in partnership with Fidelity ADT and obviously the relevant watches in the area. Patrolling isn't again, like I said, you don't have to be that person who runs out there guns blazing. You don't have to be the biggest, strongest, ugliest looking person. I wish Nicola was on this call and she could speak, but I always refer back to Nicola. She was the chair of DPV for a while, and she's the current ward council for Ward 54. And while she was pregnant with both her kids, I mean, she was out there, and she was, a great asset to the community, because while she was out there, she would spot things and she would report them, and often would catch guys that were hitting the area quite often, and they wouldn't know where it came from. It was just a woman in her car driving around looking like she's lost. Patrolling isn't a big thing. It can be, like I said, sitting on your balcony, looking down your street and putting it out on the group, on the WhatsApp group, saying, "Hey guys, I see someone who looks like he doesn't belong in the area." It could be, getting in your car, taking a drive. It could be, physical walking around the neighborhood. When I started with the neighborhood watches back in a very long time ago, Anthony was still part of the exco for TPK Watch when he lived in Tambuskliff. We would do everything from foot patrols to vehicle patrols. And one of the biggest things, and I think again Christine mentioned it as well, and I guess the social side of things and the cleaning side fall in line with the safety side, is getting to know your community, getting to know who's out there, whether it's the vagrants on the street, whether it's beggars on the corners. Getting to know those people. You don't have to engage with them, say, "Why are you here? I don't want you here. You're causing trouble." Just get to know who the people are. Often I would find that getting to speak to them and becoming human with them, getting down to a level where they understand that you're just doing your job and you're just there to make the community safer. More often than not, that gets a lot more positive results from people than trying to force them out of the area, or getting the police or getting law enforcement involved. There's a big difference between our homeless that are truly homeless and destitute, and if we can help them, and I know Nikki said that there was a social side of things coming out within the gardens area, then let's help them. But we do know that in between a lot of those homeless people, unfortunately, there are massive numbers of petty and more serious criminals. I mean, the stabbing in Glyn Street was a clear example where we've got people living in between the homeless. But by being patrollers, being out there, getting to know who's on our street, we start to know, who's the good people, who's the bad people, and who we need to look out for. And I think, end of the day, anyone can do it. Whether you're 70 years old and you're taking a walk down the road, or you're 18 years old, fresh out of school and ready to chase people around if you want to, you don't have to be. There's no particular model of what a patroller needs to be. As long as you're eager to make your community safer, if you're willing to pick up the phone or type a message to the WhatsApp group and say, "Hey guys, I'm seeing something that looks out of the ordinary," get involved. The only way we're going to make our community safer is by getting involved. Whether it's street cleaning project, whether it's from a social intervention point of view, or from a patrolling point of view. And again, I think Nikki, the word patroller, I think sometimes scares people away. So please don't let that scare you away. We are going to host a session, I think, sometime next week. Nikki will confirm the time and date, where we can give you a lot more about what being a patroller is about and what your responsibilities are and so on. But, just to kind of, finish off, come to the session with an open mind. Again, you don't have to be the biggest, strongest, ugliest person. And if you go ask any of our, you can ask the counselors that are on the call, you can ask any of the SAPs, law enforcement, any of those professional resources such that are doing this on the day-to-day, you ask them if they can fight this fight alone. And I know Councillor Brian said it early on, he says that he said that we can't. And that's why he's suggesting, looking at an SRA or a SIDS area, because end of the day, we all need to play a bit. Whether it's going the SRA route or getting more involved with the neighborhood watch and getting more patrollers out there, if we all play a little bit, and I think some of the founding principles of Gardner's Watch, which Anthony touched on, was the broken windows theory. If we can fix the small problems ourselves, it doesn't allow for room for the bigger problems to happen. So like Christine mentioned, some people will pay the homeless person to move their trash for them, but they drop it around the corner. If we can stop those small things, cleaning the graffiti off the walls as soon as it pops up, again, Christine mentioned, picking up that piece of trash outside your front door. If we can do those small things, it's going to, lead to a lot more of a positive result, as a unified effort. So, Nikki will share the time and date and details for the patroller training or intro session as such to give you a little bit more about what it's about. Please, again, you can be a mom, you can be a dad, you can be a grandpa, grandma. It doesn't matter what you are, who you are. You really can make a difference for your community, and you really can, make the place a lot safer. So why not come to the session? There's no commitment to it. It's just a matter of finding out a little bit more what it's about. And end of the day, if we can make our community safer and we can help one person, that for me is a win in itself.